I'll say just right. Well, those are Mondays.
That's.
Write yourself a note.
No.
I went to the.
Like that.
I can find it online. Good evening, everybody. We're gonna call our meeting to order. There's everybody's there.
United States of America. My God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here.
Bethany Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Michelle Miller.
Here.
Councilman Richard Sharpay Miller.
We have to leave for a little bit, because she'll be back.
Councilman Michelle Roberts.
Present.
William Doug.
Here.
Mayor Amanda Henry.
Present. Thank you. We're gonna ask that as we go into council, make sure that Mike's on his speak into the mic, because it is hard to hear it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like the blower that's right here above us, so that's the microphone, so yeah, definitely speak it up, everyone, nice and loud tonight.
We have our presentations. And this is Jackie Dodd.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Dyer, School Board Director. So I just have a real quick announcement. Some of you may or may not know that Springfield School District won a National Blue Ribbon Award. So first, I'm just going to give you a real brief how that happened. So it's not a nomination that the school applies for. It's not anything local. The Department of Public Education, Pennsylvania Department of Education, and all the other departments in the country, they nominate schools. There's different criteria depending on the grades, elementary, middle, and high school. Then the nominations go to the Federal Department of Education, who then picks the blue ribbon winner. Now, to have a high school be a blue ribbon winner is really important, because normally that doesn't happen. Normally it's more of the lower levels, elementary and middle school levels. So some of the things that they look for when picking a blue ribbon award, especially at the high school level, we're talking about what our high school offers our students. So the fact that we have 22 AP courses is very important. We have a very rigorous AP courses, and what these courses do is when you take the AP course and then you test, the score is 1 to 5. Okay, that's how you score. 3 to 5 is the best scores. Our school district, our high school in the past 2 years has scored 4s and 5s on the majority of their AP courses, which is very impressive. We also have over 24 honors courses, which is also very important for a high school to have. So that's one of the things they look at, is what we offer as a high school as far as educational. They also look at our arts programs. We have a very vigorous arts program. We have a very vigorous music program. So that's another thing that they take into consideration. Another thing they take into consideration are sports programs. Springfield, as you know, is a very sports high school. There's a lot of sports going on in our high school. Another thing that they look at in the high school level is our graduation rate. And what they do is they follow, so in this case, it was a 24 class that this is about. So they follow the kids as they come in as a freshman and as they matriculate through the 4 years. Considering that our freshmen in the 24 class actually started in the pandemic, was even more impressive. And that goes to our scores as far as our standardizing for testing for our high school students. We, on every level of our high school, from freshmen through seniors, we blow the state out of the water every year. We are at least 10 to 15% higher than what the state level is in science, math, and ELA, English language arts. So they compile all of this. The last component, well, not the last component, but it is also our graduation rate. Springfield graduates 95% of our students, which is a really high graduation rate. So then if you look at that cohort, you look at that 95%. Of that 95%, we have another, I'm sorry, 97%, I'm sorry. We have another 95% that go on to higher education. We got community college, four-year college, apprenticeships, internships. Springfield High School also has a robust internship and apprenticeship program that we've been working on for the past several years. So we have a lot of kids that go to those as well because we partner with the technical school. Finally, we also look, they also look at what happens to our students after graduation. Like I said, 95% go on to higher education. In the past 2 years, we've had kids go to Yale, Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Columbia, NYU. A lot of the major colleges have actually recruited our students. And right now, I think it's over 200 students have already made their school choices. And like I said, we have kids going to every one of those institutions, plus dozens of other colleges and universities around the country. That leaves 5%. So we have another 3% of kids that also join the military. So they go into military service. We have another 2% of our kids that either work local or they're with family businesses, things of that nature. They then look at scholarships as well. We receive hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of scholarships every year for our students. And that is because of our AP courses, because you get credits for college in an AP course, plus it opens you up to more scholarships. So they combine all of this together and a bunch of other stuff I'm sure I'm forgetting. And they put that through a system, and we were picked this year as Blue Ribbon recipients for the work that the high school has done, our students, our staff, and our community. This is also about our community, okay? Because this doesn't happen in a bottle. This doesn't happen in a vacuum. This is about the parents and the teachers and the community working together to have our students excel and to be these rigorous students that go on to do great things. So on the 27th of February, next month, which is the last Thursday of the month at 7 o'clock, we will be awarding the blue ribbon. They will come in, we will have Senator Kearney, we will have Representative Amara. There'll be, I think there's 8 people there from Springfield Township. And I would like to offer for our council, if you want to come to the blue ribbon award ceremony, you can either sit up on the dais or sit in the audience, whichever you want to do. You want to take pictures. What I need you to do is contact me at my school address. It's Jacqueline, JACQUELINE GUI at ssdcougars.org. And if you can get that to me in the next week or so I can put it on the program, we would really like to have our council, and it is open to everyone in the district, regardless of whether or not you have children right now in the district. Because like I said, this is a community effort. This is everybody. This is mentors. This is parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. So it's very important, and it's a really big notch in the district's belt to have this award. So once again, it's February 27th. It's going to be at 7 o'clock at the high school auditorium, and everybody is welcome. And if you want to come, you can just, for the council, you can just send me an email and I'll include you in the final programs. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just want to do the announcement. Anyone who wishes to comment had to sign in before the board was pulled in. And you will be allowed 3 minutes to give any comment that you have. This is not a question and answer period, no debate, no going back and forth. We're asking members of the audience still calling out or being derogatory at this time. Thank you. 1, 2, public comments. Mr. Lee?
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. Mike E. Lee, 123 West Sylvan Avenue, Morton, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, United States of America. Madam President, I understand that the Kohl's department stores are planning to close a number of their stores. During your presentation of the Finance Administration report, if you could just let the general public know if you're aware of the future of the Kohl's department store in our area. If they were to close, that's a heck of a lot of tax revenue we'd be losing. That would put a major hurting onto the borough. So that's all I have to say on that subject. So thank you for listening, and may God bless all of you.
Thank you. That guy.
Good evening, Annette Day, Morton. Give your street address, please. Highland Avenue. So, I was pleasantly surprised a little over a year ago when curbside recycling started. Many residents, including myself and my family, utilize curbside recycling. I am, however, aware of the complaints about recycling, from folks who aren't even residents, looking to save money rather than saving the earth. Yes, we've seen this both locally and not, but here's more issue. The recycling bin that's out there, it's full now. It's usually full since we started. Since it started going back into that recycling bin out there. The residents, we weren't made aware, granted, I was not able to come to these meetings as often as I would like. But I think it was put on the website after it stopped, and also take issue with that. Had to literally go to neighbors and who had their recycling out and be like, hey, no, there's no more curbside recycling because the borough's saying there's not enough money for it. So again, the recycling bin out there is always full right now. And if you put it on the side, apparently it'll go in the trash. If you put it in the bins in the back, it'll go in the trash. So now what people will do is they'll put the recycling out with the trash. Again, so I guess because it's just too much money to be recycling. I also have a question, and I know this is not question and answer, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. But was the borough awarded grant money like in May of 2024? So what happened to that money? There's also always money for different things, but apparently curbside recycling is an issue. Because again, it just goes out with the trash. And that's really all I have to say. I wanted to make people aware that there are residents here in Morton who really care about curbside recycling and would rather not put it out with the trash. We'd rather see it for people. Thank you.
Thank you. Todd,
I relinquish my time. Thank you.
Mr. Hefner?
Bill Hefner, 571 South Old Middletown Road, Media, PA. I have multiple properties and businesses here in Morton. I have a question. With your change in your policy, will we be able to get answers at any time during the meetings or not really? That's one question I was curious about. But specifically, I'm more concerned about what's owed on the sewer fees, because I found out through my FOIA request that just in 2024, $18,700 is still outstanding. I'm sorry, that's the interest if we charge 10%. The the grand total of all the fees is about $660,000 going from 2024 back. And I was wondering, in 2024, we have a rule in the Administration and Government Part 9 delinquent accounts that we could charge a 10% late fee. Also, we are I'm under the impression it's going off to Portnoy. I was curious if it's everybody from 2023 going back, and is 2024 included? And then also those numbers going back, are we charging interest and penalty when we send it off to the collection company? So I was just curious about that, because we need to, look at our numbers. Also, I'm just wondering with QuickBooks, is there anybody who is responsible for the QuickBooks to do the journal entries and stuff here in the borough? Because I know since, people have been changed and we got rid of, Brinker Simpson, I don't know if anything's being done. Because we need to have a receivable listed for the trash, for the sewer. And then also for the grants that we have, when we, put money out to then expect reimbursement, there should be a receivable line listed. Because as it was pointed out at the last meeting, people said, I didn't know about all these sewer fees, and of course, I did not know, because this stuff was not listed anywhere in the financial information I had, be in the balance sheet where it should be, or in the budget meetings. So that is a question I have there. Also, I was wondering, we're now going to transfer money from the community affairs to the fire department. I was wondering, is that going to wipe out most of the funds for the community affairs? Because you do spend a fair amount of money on the Juneteenth, and I'm just making sure that's not suffered, because that's a big thing here in Morton. And then I also wanted to know about the, back in 2023, I asked about the 990 form.
Time is up.
All right, I'll ask after I get done.
Mr. Raycraft?
The president, member of council. A question. Does the sewer rate increase inclusive of generating funds to replenish the general fund? Has the borough determined that has it been determined by the borough that your due reimbursements for the outstanding sewer work grants to show how much you're gonna be reimbursed? The other one, in future agendas, will you include copy of the minutes for the previous meetings, complete engineer's report, tax collector's monthly report, profit loss budget versus actual general funds, copy of bank balances, cash flow chart, bill list, police report, fire company report, fire marshal's report, trash collection report, copy of correspondence. I got that from the agendas that you used to give out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Guy?
Round two. Jacqueline Guy, 635 Country Lane. I also wanted to piggyback off something that they had to say about the recycling. So my husband and I are avid recyclers. I mean, I have a can and a half, and that's on my container, put it in the can, take it out in a bigger can. So when I found out that recycling was stopped, we put everything in the back of our car. We drove it up to the bin was full. I wasn't taking everything back. So I continued with my recycles to where I work in Narberth. So Narberth actually got the money for my recycles. If I'm not mistaken, we were making something off of the recycling. I don't know how much it was, but I know that we were making something off of it. And I just find it like, almost like a step backwards that we're not recycling, because I think it's so important, especially because in this day and age, we get so many deliveries. There's so many boxes that are coming through. I know I get deliveries from Amazon all the time. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna yell at I'm just disappointed that that's not happening, because I know how important it is to continue recycling. I feel like that, like I said, it kind of took a step back. So I'm hoping if we're not gonna recycle at the curb, we can possibly get a second can or a bigger dumpster to put our recycles in, so that it's, when you have to load everything into your car and then you gotta bring it all back to your house, it becomes discouraging. And I think that's why people are throwing everything into the trash. So maybe we could look into possibly getting a bigger bin, or having the recycle bin emptied more often. At least check and say, yeah, it needs to be emptied. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, will be,
I would
please, for the comment. Thank you. The meeting report. We have finance and administration first.
I received this today from Kristen, tax collector's monthly report, ending December 31st. Balance, collectibles, current is $75,354.26. The balance at the end of the year was $69,248,202. I have the reports here for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Next, we have our treasurer report. He's unable to be here for a family situation. So we're gonna ask you, could you read the treasurer report?
Yes, Madam President. Again, this is from our CFO, Jonathan. For the month ending December 31st, 2024, general fund started out $788,589.49. We ended the year total funds, that's all the funds, $843,503.08.
Thank you very
And
much.
the bill list is here for your consideration.
Thank you.
Can you give, would you mind to give me those numbers again, Jack?
Yeah, they're in your.
I was looking for them.
Total funds, at the end of the year, Councilwoman, Miller's, $843,503.08, I believe.
Okay.
We also have a resolution transferring funds from community events and celebrations line item 460.455 to the fire equipment escrow line 411.3118. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, we do that at the end of the meeting.
Okay, we'll carry it.
Keep going past the checks.
That's right. All right, then we have a disbursement sharing. Everybody had it in their phone.
Got 7 minutes? We were just given this, we just. Thank you.
We will be going on having a resolution authorizing the treasurer to pay recurring monthly bills. We're gonna move along to go to our public facility and infrastructure. Wow.
Report, and then the year's report, comment on that.
The building, this report for December 2024, there were 4 building permits received and 4 permits issued. Use and occupancy, 2 properties were inspected and 2 certificates were issued and 2 contractors licenses were issued. Under the engineer's report. I did want to mention, copy of my report is on file. Want to talk about this step tip? You want to talk about it?
It's on my list,
Okay.
I'll
You can handle
yeah,
it.
and then you can follow.
Okay. It's my report's on file and
Yeah.
any questions I think.
No worries. All right, so, thirdly would be the Senator Kearney and Rep. O'Mara has a tax rebate seminar on February 20th from 10 to 1 here. And then just a couple other items I have would be we'll do the Morton and Woodland traffic signal. So the permit from SEPTA has been received. And the work is anticipated to start on March 1st, weather dependent. And SEPTA has agreed to take responsibility for the damage and will pay the contractor directly. So we want to give a big thank you to Senator Kearney and Rep. O'Mara for their help with getting SEPTA to pay for this. And then we had applied for a DCED multimodal transportation fund grant application.
which was submitted for $1.8 million for the modernization of the traffic signal and grade crossing gates at Woodland Avenue and Morton Avenue. And then the next Commonwealth Financing Authority meeting is set for January 28th. So hopefully that grant will be awarded during that time or considered. Just a couple of other items I have would be the CDBG application. So that was submitted for Central Morton Streetscape, Phase 1, Morton Avenue, Woodland to Walnut. And for Central Morton Traffic Safety Improvements, which is to upgrade street signs and pavement markings. So we expect to hear whether it'll be successful in about April. PA Small Water and Sewer Grant. So we institute form, did I say that correctly? Okay. Is back in town doing a manhole rehabilitation work as part of the sewer project. So the work should be done within 30 days, weather dependent. The DCED Greenways, Trails and Recreation Grant application. So this is a grant that we submitted an application for $250,000 in May of 24, which was submitted for Jacobs Park. There hasn't been a decision made, and we hope the award will be part of the same January 28th meeting of the CFA. Borough Hall ADA parking, there's been an initial assessment that has been completed. And then the firehouse met with Catania Engineering to discuss the apron replacement to get a scope of what the work will look like. I am done.
Thank you very much.
And I have one little thing to add. Someone who's online named Mimi said, good evening. The borough workers did an excellent job plowing and salting the roads during the snowstorm this week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, they did.
that's on the manager's report.
Next is moving on to public safety, Councilwoman Vice President Shante Miller.
Good evening. We'll start with you, Chief Lawrence.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, the police report for January of 25 is the first portion of the report is a recap of our goals for 2024 and what the department was able to achieve for the year. So the first objective was to reduce retail thefts by 20% for the year, which would have totaled to 6 total incidents. There were 29 thefts in 2023. We had 5 thefts in 2024. So we had an 83% reduction, which is significantly surpassed the goal of 20%. The second goal was to reduce accidents in the borough by 20%, which would be a total of 20 incidents. From 2023, we had 104 accidents. 2024, we had 74 accidents. That was a 29% reduction, which surpassed our goal of 20% reduction. And then some other statistics of note, which identify officer activity. In 2023, the officers issued 104 traffic citations. In 2024, we issued 192, which is an 85% increase. Our traffic warnings for 2023 were 206, and in 2024 it was 432, which is a 110% increase, indicating the dramatic increase of motor vehicle interactions that we're having with the public. Our traffic checks in 2023, where we're monitoring specific areas for traffic violations. And 2023 was 216, and 2024 was 1,111, which is an over 400% increase. Our building checks in 2023 was 140. Our building checks in 2024 were 2,117, which is 782% increase. And our total incidents for 2023 was 2,498. 2024 was 5,954, which is a 138% increase, largely driven by officer proactivity. That is my report for the meeting.
Okay. Will you be getting those?
I don't have the fire marshal report.
Do you want it?
Sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you go.
The fire company activity report for December of 2024. There were 33 incidents. The company was in service for 27 hours and 15 minutes. Total personnel response of 190, 150 hours and 15 minutes of man hours expended. High response of 10, average of 6. We had 13 automatic fire alarms, 1 wires, 1 natural gas, 8 building fires, 1 carbon monoxide alarm, 2 medical assists, 3 motor vehicle accidents, 1 investigation, and 1 cover, which is standby for another station, and 2 police assists. Of that, there were 18 assists to other companies. We had 9 details for 26 hours, attended by 89 members, for 296 hours of personnel hours. That's highlighted because it is December, and what the crew and the members did, besides their shopping for Christmas and all that, was outstanding. The company had 4 training drills for 9 hours, attended by 34 for 70 hours. We had 5 duty engine assignments for 21 hours, 30 minutes. That's higher than normal. Attended by 40 personnel for 171 hours and 30 minutes of personnel hours. We were at the Crozier incident, the electrical. We had 5 hours of engineering for monthly maintenance and repairs. We have 1 driver training session for 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's a report. I'd like to see if we could also look into the parking on most of the streets in the borough, especially Baker Street. It's really tough to make that turn. We had a wires call and the Pico truck struggled to get down the street.
What was that?
Baker, it's 22 Baker. It's at the corner.
Look at the parking.
It's the parking. Kind of doesn't make sense because there's no parking on the side where.
Parking?
Yeah, the parking driveways
We
on the other
mentioned that
side.
last
It's-
week,
it's-
yes.
If you switch it, I think everything will work out. But
That's how it
into
was
that, I
supposed to go.
appreciate it.
Did you do the fire marshal?
Fire marshal. Any home care, 25 Woodland Avenue, emergency egress issue. Reported to me from Code Inspector Dave, Bagley. Dave C. About the business only having 1 exit, which is the entryway. The other exit is the rear exit, and the exit goes to the dentist office in the rear of the building. Owners are working on correcting this matter. Follow-up items, emergency management coordinator training at the Delaware County 911 Center was held on for upcoming training in 2025, which is offered at all EMC, and some classes are also offered to municipal officers. Fire prevention, safety items posted on the borough website and borough webpage. Checklist. I know he's also looking into the Knox box keys. There's only 1 key, which is very difficult. The police and the fire marshal should also have a key. I know he's working on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Now that concludes our public safety.
Thank you. And moving right along, we have our public health sanitation and recycling, Counselor Roberts.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
On the report tonight, we have the December 2024 recycling report. And if I could just enter a reject to the borough manager. This trash report is, okay, I do see the trash report, but on the back side is the recycling. I didn't know there's 2 pages, so you turn it over, on the back side is your recycling material.
Been missing the dates.
No. Right? And then they said you're missing the date, when they did, Michelle said you're missing one of the dates as well. This would have been the last week. Okay, so just to advise them, there is no date missing, which would have been the last week, but the total weight was 16.87. Yeah, that has been a lot compared to prior, we've had 8.01. I mean, so it looks like as we were closing out, the residents were trying to conquer. I mean, we have been close to 19. So I mean, we still were under, we were close to 19. But like I said, it seems as we closed out, the residents were participating. Once again, we have been discussing about recycling since September, October, November. We had to go forward because the cost was going to be costly to the residents. It is not mandatory that we recycle because of our size. It was an undertaking that I believe most of us on this dais were into recycling. I can't speak for everybody because there are many council members that don't recycle. So I know I was an advocate for it. So once again, as I presented it to the committee and to council, this is where we decided that we would not be able to foresee carrying recycling at this time. For as the containers, we did have the igloo, they took them out in 2022. We went to the one size container, which is larger. So now we may have to revisit with them to see if we can maybe get another container. And also keep in mind, it is also doesn't look becoming to our borough. If we continue to dump, I mean, it impedes on the fire station. So it doesn't look good for them as well, and the whole, or for us as a community, as far as our borough building. So we can try to address it to see if maybe we can get another container. And also we can maybe visit the possibility of knowing how often they can come and remove it. But once again, this is because it's in Delaware County. We may not be able to get that option because their hands may be tied on how they're able to get their workers here. So once again, these are things that we can visit and try to see if we can accommodate you in any kind of way. We do, once again, encourage you. As I've been coming every week myself, I see that people are bringing their recyclables here. So we do appreciate that and value it. But once again, it's something that, as this undertaking that we've been discussing it, and as you say, you're just seeing it on our website. So I did speak to Doug about it prior. I did notice that the borough did put some notifications on the door. So it's not like we have a mailer going out to you advising you. And if you look on your street, you could probably see those that recycle and those that do not. So this is where we are. In the past, we've gotten grants. We've gotten maybe at least $9,000 from grants. And once again, the bill that we took this year was up in the 200 and some thousand. If we took on recycling, it would have been, I believe, another 95,000 that we would have to absorb, even though your trash bill didn't go down much. Because once again, it's still at 300 and something that you're going to get as we go into 2025. That'll be due out, I believe you'll have it due out sometime in February, but we do in March. So just keep these things in mind. So, I mean, we hear you. We appreciate you trying to be concerned about our environment, because once again, this is something that will always be with us. I mean, we see the climate change, we see all the things that are transpiring as we live on this earth. So once again, we thank you. We value each and every one that tries. But once again, if you wanted to get involved, I ask that you put some action behind it. This committee is open, looking for people to work on it. So once again, as the chairperson, if you're out there, you're willing to get involved, I can try to partner with you in any kind of way that we can present something to council to try to move it forward.
Councilman Roberts?
Anything else, Council?
Just wanted to let you know, I did get a call this morning, from the Delaware County, Sewer Authority. They're gonna be changing from the 4-yard to 4-yard dumpster. They're gonna put a 6-yarder in.
Okay, so there'll be a larger container.
And I've told the lady I deal with, Leslie, every other day.
Yes, you
About
get
it
an
being
email.
full, and they're doing the best they can.
Okay, yeah. Can
Go
I?
ahead, go ahead.
Before you interject. All right, the borough manager, yes, we are friends, and I'm
That's your
friends
buddy.
with you, okay? But don't make it an issue.
We gotta do this.
All right, I just
We
want
doing
to know,
this.
don't keep making it an issue.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
go
I'm
ahead.
friends with all y'all up here.
We're
You pick and
asking,
choose
we're
what you want.
asking.
You wanted to.
Okay, but borough
Proper
manager,
forum, excuse me, can I say what I'm saying? We're asking council, please hold it. We're asking our residents to adhere to the
absolutely.
forum. So we're asking everybody else. We
Exactly.
represent the borough.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Exactly, and it
Thank
goes
you.
both ways. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, President. Yes, okay, borough manager, in regards to B&L, is there a calendar that we can get? So we'll know, because on Monday, I did get many residents inquiring about trash pickup.
Michelle, we've been on the phone with them every other day, trying to get a calendar. I will continue to get them a calendar. I've told them, you wanna get paid, you're gonna get us a calendar. Just to be frank.
Yes,
We are still waiting for that calendar.
okay, and I know, like I said, from prior years, it's the same thing, dealing, because I've had to ask Marty the same thing. But once again, if we could just keep trying to push that along.
Absolutely.
That's very imperative that we get that calendar, we can try to get that information to Doug and he can post it also on the website.
Again, like I said, they're going from a 4-yard dumpster to 6, hopefully within the next week.
Okay, thank you. And one other thing, if I could, once again, I just lost my train of thought, what I was gonna inquire about with you. I'll get back to
All right, thank you, and thank you.
it. Thank you.
What I
To our
would,
borough manager,
what-
excuse me. Thank you to our borough manager for adding about the increase in the size of the recycling. Then we've been working on that, trying, again with Leslie, trying to meet all needs and good, and we're glad to see people bringing
Yes.
the trash and the recycling over here. So we are moving on now. Councilman Miller, did you have something to say?
yes, I did, as a member of the committee with Shelley and Mr. Stubbs. The grants that come in for recycling come in from, based on what was taken in the year before. So we should be getting a grant, get some money for 24 this year or the beginning of 26. And with that said, there was a meeting with Leslie, I believe her name is, from the authority, that none of us could attend because it was held at a certain time of day who we couldn't attend. And did she say anything about the grants? Anything different than what I just said, or anything, any good news or?
No, not as of
anything?
yet, and she's gonna be having another meeting over within the next month
Okay,
to follow up on everything, but no, council will be able to see any word yet.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving right along, we have our law and ordinance committee, Councilman Miller.
Yeah, I don't have anything on the agenda, however, Chief Holstein, you had made a comment about Baker Street, which I know that our police chief has been talking about with Mr. Stubbs and some other things Chief and I've been talking about, so that is under full consideration. And with that said, I'd like to set up a committee meeting. So I don't know if we're setting up our own dates, Madam President, or if you're setting up the dates for the committee meetings.
They already gave them out.
I have-
You got them.
He has some.
The last-
They've been given out.
Yeah, they were attached to your
First week.
agenda.
You have it. I don't have that with me. I just want to check and see. Therefore, Chief, if I dig out the agenda, which I don't have with me, I will let you know. But otherwise, I attended, this is sort of off the subject, but I put some information out here. I attended a seminar put on by Senator Kearney and State Rep O'Mara a few weeks ago about for seniors, but it's about fraud and such things. There's a lot of information here. I can get more from the state. One most particularly interesting thing was about freezing your credit. I only have this one card, but you can actually freeze your credit cards so that nobody can access your credit reports. And there's different ways you can freeze your credit reports, rather, not your credit cards, so that so nobody can do anything false with it. And then if you need to go buy a car or make some particular purchase, you can unfreeze it. So it's just a really interesting thing. If anybody, and this isn't only seniors, but if anybody's interested in that, that you contact the three major, credit reporting agencies, but anyway, that information's there. I'll get more to put out front if anybody's interested. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on to community and economic development, Councilor.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Nothing on the agenda, but just a reminder that February 13th at 7 p.m. there will be a community and economic development meeting. So if you're curious about what type of events we're going to try to have, how much money we might have for these things, feel free to come out. If you have any ideas that you want to present, feel free to come out and join us. It's always a good time. So yeah, 7 p.m. February 13th. Okay, that's it.
Oh, so we want to talk about our
The food drive that we have for.
Oh, yeah. So Martin Luther King Day, we had a food drive, and it was very successful. I loaded up pretty much my whole car, which I have a Kia Soul. It's not huge, but it's not small, but it filled up almost the whole back. And actually today I dropped it off out in media. I was looking around for some places and they were open. So I dropped it all off and they were very, very happy to have it. So it was a huge success and it just got me thinking that we should probably do that a few more times. Yeah, it's nice and easy and just, I hung on here, a couple people dropped it off. So thank you everybody for dropping off food. It was well attended.
Thank you. Next, moving on to Parks and Recreation, Councilor Stubbs.
Go Eagles.
Mhm.
What does MVP stand for? Morton's Valuable People. That's going to be the part of the Park and Recreation sign that I'm creating. I have talked to 4 gentlemen about chess playing. Hopefully, in the middle part of February, we will have our first chess meet. And at that time, I will present the MVP sign. If you don't know how to play chess, we're going to try to have instructors between now and then. But I'm reaching out for chess players as young and old. You know, I don't know how young the kids are that know how to play chess, but I know there's a lot of seniors who play chess. So we're going to be reaching out for that. Other than that, there at this time, I have no more reports. Mr. Jack, if you have anything to offer.
Okay, I'm still waiting for a number of grants to, get the information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Their mayor's report.
So I want to second the thanks to the highway department for the job that they did for the snow removal. I also want to say in lieu of the LA fires, thank you to the work that our fire company does. And prayers to everyone that's going through that at the moment. The sign at Waverly, Chief. How has that gone?
I had officers up there that were conducting interventions with people, not issuing any tickets, educating people about the new signage. The last couple of days, we've had officers up there for about a half hour at a time, 3-4 times. There haven't been any violations, so I think the first couple of days was the running thing portion of it. Other than that, I don't have anything else. No other report.
I noticed it when I was coming down the pike, when it had been up. So I was just curious, if we had any, feedback as to whether it was.
Oh, we've had feedback. We've had.
I've seen the feedback. I was gonna say, I've seen the feedback, but that's not where I was going with this. Right, right.
A few residents who weren't happy, but I think the overwhelming majority were in support of the ordinance and the safety aspects related to it.
Well, and one of the things that I don't know if we really thought about, and I particularly noticed this with the backup of the car wash. Especially with the cars as they're, going through this, and then of course, sore subject also made me think of the Wawa and what all that's going to kind of impact us with. And so the idea of that sign being there, because I mean, there's been countless times that I've come you know, down Baltimore Pike and seeing its curtains come out and go like that, you know? So thank you to the officers, you know, for being out there and handling that. And thankfully it wasn't, you know, too terrible. So, other than that, I have nothing.
Manager's report?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Just want to let you know, we're doing some, you know, upgrades, renovations to Borough Hall, painting the hallways, we're gonna paint some other things, fixing some of the walls that are damaged. So we're just trying to refresh the building. The other thing I want to let you know, I got a letter and I emailed it to all the mayor and council. SEPTA will be renewing the Providence Road grade crossings. So that's gonna be closed, right at the Kane Station from Friday, April 4th to Monday, April 7th. So I just wanted to let everyone, give them a heads up, you know, police chief, fire chief. Also, I just want to reiterate what everyone said about, William and Spurge. They did a great job on the snowstorm. You know, it doesn't help too with the, 10 degrees, you know, with the ice, the snow refreezing, but they've been doing a great job salting and trying to clear things up before there's issues. The other thing I want to let the mayor and council know, the PASB, the annual conference, Pennsylvania Association of State Boroughs. If anyone wants to go to the annual conference, June 1st to June 4th, you can let me know by next Monday, because I have to sign us up before there's an increase in the fees. So if anyone wants to go, just let me know. Thank you. That's it, Madam President.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Action items. And I get a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the treasurer to pay reoccurring bills. Before we get the motion, can we, state which bills, what we talk about, what recurring bills are?
It's,
The council's aware of it.
let me get that, I'm sorry. It's, insurance, utilities, payroll, debt service, contractual payments, things along that lines, you know, monthly bills that really can't wait. And I looked into it, we did a similar resolution, Madam President, in 2011.
We're upgrading for this.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion? So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next we have a motion to approve transferring funds from the community event and self-management line to fire fitness extra. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Record, we're talking about $15,000 transfer.
Second. All approved?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then I get a motion to approve minutes from May 11, 2023, May 26, 2022, June 8, 2022, and June 22nd, 2023.
I'll make the motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. From the payment of bills as listed for the month of December 2024.
I have a question on one.
All right, in January 2025. And through the payments of bills as listed for 2025. Any questions?
There is a bill listed, of course, I don't have it right here in front of me. For $4,800 for improvement for cameras.
Yeah.
Does anybody wanna,
Chief,
what cameras? Is that for the police?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to know what it was. Thank you.
That's all you wanted?
That's all I wanted.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Moving on, upcoming meetings and events.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't vote. And get a vote? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Payment of bills as listed in January, for January 2025. Can I get a motion? Second,
Second.
all approved?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have our upcoming meeting and events, February 12th, 2025, agenda meeting, February 17th, 2025. President's Day office will be held here at the Borough. And then our regular council meeting, February 26th, 2025. The regular committee meetings, there's a list of all the committee meetings that's coming up in February and throughout the year. If you need a copy, I don't know if we have extras up here. Okay, we have copies here if anybody needs the questions and answers will be done. We ask you to participate in the committee meetings. That's what discussions will be going on. And you'll be able to comment and have questions there, and hopefully they'll be able to answer sometimes they don't.
Council President and Carl, we need to make a motion regarding the FOT contract for 1 year. Oh, okay, this was just, okay.
So we just want to, remind you that, you participate, and I just want to put, Councilor Roberts on that. The committee members are council members. You're allowed to participate in committee meetings, but that's where your members are. So you have 3 members of councilors on each committee. They are the actual members, but you're allowed to come to the meeting. That's what I wanted to say. Did I need to repeat that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Didn't I just advocate to the residents that they could come to the meeting?
And you said you wanted to be part of the committee.
No, come and be a part, right?
Yeah, but not on the committee, you said you're on the committee.
No, well, the committee's gonna be the committee members from the council, right?
That's what I just
But
said.
we want the residents to come be a part.
Right, you wanted to clarify it, understanding, because you had some confusion ongoing. The resident,
You consider.
committee members, and we wanted to make sure they understand. All right. We have open discussion. Excuse me, open discussion. Ms. Todd?
Cecilia Todd, 110 Althea Lane. As a resident and as an active member of the Morton Rutledge Fire Department, thank you for the motion to transfer money to the fire department line. We appreciate your support. It's been said before that we are appreciated. Thank you again for what you did.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, we have Mr. Borough.
Council, I'm Joe Boylan. I'm at 23 Althea Lane. I had a number of things I was going to talk about tonight, but I think I'm just going to pare it down to the 2 that I think are most important. Since we were talking about rubbish and the rubbish being collections earlier today, I wanted to bring to Borough's council's attention that the 2025 budget shows revenue of $200,000. This would be the collections from borough residents as they pay their annual rubbish bill. That dollar amount is exactly the same as B&L's quote. Exactly. It does not include tipping fees. So typically in the past, since the rubbish fee is borne by residents only, homeowners only, we took the tipping fees and added that to the collection fee. Because businesses and apartment houses, they have their own arrangements for private trash collection. So by not including the tipping fees, you have passed those through in the real estate tax to everybody who owns apartments and businesses in the borough. So the businesses are helping our residents pay tipping fees that should only apply to them. In addition, I understand that the new rubbish fee is $330, is that correct? So that's an increase of 8% over 2024. but B&L increased their fees by 19%. So I don't understand how that could be. Except for the fact that the tipping fees are not included. In addition, there's 820 households. That's the number that I got from the office last year from Muni Billing. So that represents $270,000 in bills that went to the resident. But we only have revenue projected at 200,000. That doesn't add up. That implies that 35% of residents are not going to pay their rubbish bill. Also, your tipping fees are going to increase in 2025 because of what we discussed earlier, that there will be no credit for recycling. So I think that's important to bring to the fore. I also wanted to clear up some misinformation or disinformation from the December meeting. When I proposed in the fall of 2023 for the 2024 budget that I would take over for Brinker Simpson, it was only supposed to be till March 31st. That was going to ensure continuity from the previous administration to the new administration. And I was going to charge $40 an hour instead of $100 an hour, but only for 3 months. So the clock was ticking in November of 2023 for council to find a replacement for Brinker Simpson,
Your time's up.
which they didn't until
Your time
October.
is up. Thank you for taking this comments into consideration.
You're welcome.
Next, Mr. Semino.
Mario Semino, 46 South Morton Avenue. I endorse all the questions that have been made about finances and the budget and collections. I think the residents deserve timely answers to all those. As far as what Mr. Boylan just presented and attempted to present, Mr. Boylan has been, his work over the past 4 years prior has been impugned and scapegoated by the current council president and vice president repeatedly from this dais. I call on all of council to give Mr. Boylan the opportunity to, with reasonable time, as in 20 minutes, half an hour at a future council meeting, to defend his work, since his reputation has been subject to constant impugning and scapegoating by the current council leadership. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Dr. Carter.
Bill Hefner, I do have some additional questions. Again, with Mr. Boylan and the tipping fee, I don't understand why we have to pay for this. On January 16th, I sent an email to the council president along with some other members. I've not heard anything back. And what I'm questioning is, how do we get information to the public, the residents and stuff, on different things? Do I send FOIA requests on everything? You know, like to understand why, you know, how we're handling collections. You know, for example, I asked questions about the arrears of 2024, where if we charge 10% interest, that would generate another $16,000 worth of income for the borough. But I don't understand how we can get information from the borough unless it's possibly through FOIA requests. Because I know, you know, the council president was referring to, you know, this new administration to be an open, transparent organization. But tonight, I have no idea what's happening. How do I get information? How do the residents ask questions? And who do we write to? Because I know when I sent you the email, I got no response on the 16th. So do I then just do a FOIA request for all the information I need? And do the residents do the same thing? These are the questions. And I'm hoping maybe I can get an answer tonight. Probably with the new system, I won't know anything. So I just want to know how we go forward to get information from what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just followed up on would be any answers to the questions I had on the public comment.
I'll be coming after.
Okay, there's one thing I suppose, in front of the old bank building on South Morton Avenue, two large pieces of plywood. Been there for, I don't know, I've been by there for 3 weeks, looks like hell. I don't know if we have any purview to ask them to move it, but if we do, maybe somebody could ask them to move it.
Wait, I'm sorry, which thing?
I think it's jujitsu now or something, the old bank building.
Okay.
Two large pieces of plywood, I don't know why they're there. I'm up against the wall.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier there, we're asking if you would like answers or discuss anything that you mentioned tonight, please come to committee meetings. There's copies of when the next committee meetings are being scheduled and everything. At the time to allot for the questions and comments, some parts of it and everything that you'll be getting at that point in time. I want to say a lot has occurred over the last couple of years, and Morton and his time was all to recognize the good and not so good, and move from a place of negativity and unprofessionalism to a space of hope, positivity, professionalism, and resurgence. I provided an overview of the year 2024, and now I'm as council, the mayor, and the chief and borough managers to work on establishing and providing us with strategies and goals that they would like to do for each committee. And give us at least 1 to 3 years that you want to be working towards. We ask council members to do that, chair. The question to ask ourselves now when planning is where can Morton be in the future as we move away from the past? Whenever there's growth and change, you encounter growing pains, and there's also restlessness for Mortonites. We hope that with the struggles will subside and everybody will move to embrace the future and needs to move us all into the 21st century. Forgetting and saying that you have the right way, then there's the wrong way, then there's the Morton way. We will no longer function in a crisis reactive mode, but setting our standards towards becoming a proactive government and administration and council. Celebrating our history, residents, and the uniqueness of our borough by doing so as the borough council president has asked each committee member, again, chair, to provide us with 1 to 3 goals and objectives that you would like to achieve with your borough committee members. They will be presenting this to each committee and bringing it up to at your committees. So you understand. So again, you will have a voice to participate in the committee meetings, ask and give your comments at that point in time that you would like to see such said committee move and progress to. They are asked to present it to, and they were asked to already present it to the borough manager and myself, and to seek out any assistance that they need in looking at that. We're also asked that every member provide updated events and activities that they're planning for their committees, so we can avoid all conflicts as much as possible for each other and allow time for the information to be presented ahead, not 1 month ahead of time or 2 weeks. We want to get the information out. If we have no planning strategies in place, we have nothing to achieve. I first set mine up and established that for the finance and administration, training and education is the key. That I adhere to each member. If you've not had a training in Borough Council or your committee, please participate in the June conference or make sure you get involved with the online training. Our borough manager will make sure everybody are aware of the trainings that's coming up and that you can sign up for. It's not good to just listen to somebody. I always equate this as reading your Bible. I can tell you anything, but once you actually participate in the training and education, then you can take it from there, and you're not just going by my words. Two, we want to continue to straighten out all the ledgers and finances that's been going on within this borough. My third goal is to continue to research and apply for all appropriate grants, especially ones that don't require financial match, because we run into roadblocks with that. And we also want to establish a true capital improvement fund for the borough, with actual funds placed in that account and accounted for. We want to continue to establish a revolving door of community resources and events that are held here in Morton that truly addresses the needs of the residents in such a way such as rental assistance and mortgage assistance programs that's out there, emergency food and shelter programs, college prep and college application workshops, finance workshops. We want to look at expungement clinics. We also want to look at fun activities, as Mr. Stubbs is always talking about, recreation for our youth, recreation for our adults. We want to be this providing and recognizing that it's not always about money. We want to make sure these events are held here, and we want to put Morton on number one as constantly evolving and moving towards. That's what's needed. We're listening, we're hearing, and we're asking again, we need you, work with us. Again, growing pains, just cause some struggles and some upset, but we're asking just work together. And our goal is to be here and assist all the neighbors and residents. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that said, can I get a motion? No, thank you. Don't forget,